There are a lot of combat-focused games out there. Each title on this list offers unforgettable action and stands out for its own unique characteristics and memorable experience. We're not ranking them. Instead, we're showing you why each one deserves a place in the spotlight. Whether you enjoy high-intensity battles, swinging swords, shooting guns, or trying something completely unexpected, these games will keep you hooked. So, let's start with number 15. Ghost Runner 2 raises the bar for fast-paced action and precision gameplay. You step into the shoes of Jack, a cybernetic ninja, with a katana sharp enough to slice through anything in your path. Set in a dystopian cyberpunk world, the game builds on its predecessor's lightning-fast combat and parkour mechanics, creating a relentless flow that keeps you on edge. The combat in Ghost Runner 2 is all about precision and timing. Every slash, dodge, and parry has to be perfectly executed as you take on waves of enemies armed with guns, drones, and deadly traps. What makes this sequel shine is its expanded gameplay, introducing energy management mechanics and vehicular combat sections that keep the experience fresh and exciting. The environments are just as much a part of the combat as the enemies. Wall running, grappling, and quick-thinking movement are key to survival, and the game punishes hesitation. While it's a difficult and intimidating game to learn for newcomers, the sense of accomplishment you get from mastering a level is unmatched. If you're looking for a game that tests your reflexes and keeps the adrenaline pumping, Ghost Runner 2 is a ride you won't forget. Sunset Overdrive is chaos personified in the best possible way. This vibrant, tongue-in-cheek open-world game throws you into a city overrun by mutants created by a tainted energy drink. It's ridiculous, over the top, and packed with action that never takes itself too seriously. And that's what makes Sunset Overdrive unique, in addition to its focus on combat, which is very fun and enjoyable to play. You're constantly grinding on rails, bouncing off rooftops, and wall running while firing an arsenal of wild weapons. The more stylish your moves, the stronger you become, encouraging you to stay on the move and chain together crazy combos. The weapon variety is another highlight, featuring everything from explosive teddy bear launchers to acid-sprinkling guns, ensuring no fight ever feels the same. While its humor and cartoonish style may not appeal to everyone, the sheer energy and creativity of Sunset Overdrive make it a standout experience. If you're looking for a game where chaos is the goal and creativity is the weapon, this is a must-play. Midnight Fight Express is a gritty, fast-paced brawler that feels like it was ripped straight from an action movie. You are Babyface, a former criminal who's dragged back into the violent underworld for one chaotic night. The game is all about close-quarters combat, with brutal hand-to-hand fights that force you to think on your feet. The combat system is where Midnight Fight Express shines. You can punch, kick, and grapple your enemies, but it doesn't stop there. You can also use improvised weapons like pipes, bats, or chairs, and even take advantage of the environment to pull off creative takedowns. The top-down perspective gives you a full view of the action, making every fight feel strategic and satisfying. What really elevates the experience is the game's pacing. Each level feels fresh, introducing new challenges, enemy types, and weapons. While the narrative isn't groundbreaking, the sheer energy of the gameplay makes it easy to overlook. For fans of brawlers who want something modern, stylish, and unapologetically violent, Midnight Fight Express is a knockout. Nier Automata is an action RPG that's as much about the emotional journey as it is about the combat. The real beauty of Nier lies in its variety. The game's combat is fast, flashy, and endlessly engaging, with smooth transitions between melee and ranged attacks that make every encounter feel dynamic. One moment, you're slicing through waves of enemies with fluid combos. The next, you're navigating a bullet hell sequence or piloting a mech. The boss fights are a particular highlight, offering larger-than-life encounters that test your reflexes and adaptability. While some players might find the existential tone of the story a bit heavy, it's this depth that sets the game apart. Paired with a hauntingly beautiful soundtrack, Nier Automata delivers a combat experience that's as meaningful as it is exhilarating. If you haven't played it yet, this is one you don't want to miss. If you've ever dreamed of piloting a fully customizable mech, Armored Core 6 is your chance to live out that fantasy. This game takes mech combat to a whole new level, combining high-speed dogfights with strategic decision-making. You'll face off against rival mechs, massive bosses, and waves of enemies in explosive battles that never let up. Customization is at the heart of the game. You can tweak every aspect of your mech, from weapons and armor to boosters and energy systems. allowing you to tailor your build to the challenges ahead. The combat itself is a perfect blend of strategy and chaos. Do you go for a long-range sniper setup, or do you prefer getting up close with devastating melee weapons? The choice is yours, and every encounter feels like a test of both your reflexes and your creativity. While the difficulty may feel steep for newcomers, Armored Core 6 rewards persistence with some of the most satisfying mech battles in gaming. It's a must-play for fans of tactical, high-stakes action. In the grimdark universe of Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2 delivers a brutal and bombastic combat experience. You step into the boots of a Space Marine, humanity's genetically enhanced warrior, as you face off against swarms of Tyranids in massive, chaotic battles. The combat is a seamless blend of melee and ranged attacks, allowing you to switch between devastating chainsword slashes and explosive bolter fire. Every encounter feels like a desperate fight for survival, with hordes of enemies rushing you from all sides. The game doesn't just make you feel powerful, it makes you feel like a one-person army standing against impossible odds. While its focus on relentless combat might not appeal to those looking for deep narrative moments, Space Marine 2 excels at delivering pure, unfiltered action. If you're a fan of large-scale battles and visceral gameplay, this game is an absolute thrill ride. Sifu is a martial arts game that feels like stepping into your favorite kung fu movie. You play as a young martial artist on a path of vengeance, taking on waves of enemies across beautifully designed locations. The game's combat system is all about precision and mastery. Blocking, dodging, parrying, and countering are essential skills to survive. Every fight feels like a carefully choreographed dance, where timing and positioning make all the difference. What sets Sifu apart is its unique aging mechanic. Every time you die, you return older and slightly more powerful, but with less health. This adds a layer of strategy to the game, as you must balance learning the combat mechanics with progressing through the story. Each level brings new challenges, from tight, gritty hallways to expansive, neon-lit rooftops, creating a cinematic experience that keeps you hooked. While the game's difficulty can be punishing, the sense of accomplishment when you finally master its systems is immensely rewarding. Chivalry 2 is the perfect game if you've ever wanted to experience the chaos of a medieval battlefield. This title drops you into massive skirmishes with swords clashing, arrows flying, and castles under siege. Whether you're storming a fortress or defending a village, every moment feels like a scene from an epic historical drama. The combat in Chivalry 2 strikes a perfect balance between accessibility and depth. You can swing, parry, and block with a variety of weapons, including swords, axes, and bows, each with its own weight and timing. The dynamic battlefield environments add even more excitement as trebuchets fire, walls crumble, and chaos reigns. While the lack of a single-player campaign might turn off some players, the sheer thrill of its multiplayer battles more than makes up for it. This is a game where every skirmish feels alive, unpredictable, and utterly immersive. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice is a masterclass in precision combat. You take on the role of a shinobi, armed with a katana and a grappling hook, fighting through a beautifully crafted world inspired by Sengoku-era Japan. Unlike other From Software titles, Sekiro focuses on speed and timing, rather than building stats or grinding for equipment. The game's combat system revolves around posture, yours and your enemies. Parrying attacks at the perfect moment weakens your opponent's posture, setting up devastating finishing blows. Boss battles are particularly intense, each one requiring you to learn their patterns and adapt your strategy. While the game's difficulty can be daunting, it's also what makes Sekiro so rewarding. Every victory feels deserved, and the environments and lore-rich world only add to the experience. In Mad Max, the Wasteland becomes your battleground. As Max Rockatansky, you'll fight to survive in a harsh, post-apocalyptic world, filled with ruthless gangs and deadly terrain. The game's combat is a perfect blend of brutal hand-to-hand brawling and explosive vehicular battles. The melee combat is visceral, with satisfying counters and bone-crushing strikes that make every punch feel impactful. On the other hand, vehicular combat takes center stage as you customize the magnum opus, your ultimate war machine, to take down enemy convoys and strongholds. The world of Mad Max is gritty and atmospheric, immersing you in the struggle for survival. While the open-world activities can sometimes feel repetitive, the intensity of the combat and the richness of the setting make this game an unforgettable ride. Bayonetta 3 is pure, unfiltered action, delivering hack-and-slash combat that's as stylish as it is intense. You play as Bayonetta, a witch with a flair for the dramatic and an arsenal of magical weapons. Combat is fast-paced, focusing on chaining combos, dodging at the perfect moment to trigger witch time, and summoning powerful demons to devastate your foes. The game's over-the-top style sets it apart. Every encounter feels like a spectacle, with jaw-dropping visuals, massive boss battles, and a flair for the absurd that makes it endlessly entertaining. While its chaotic storytelling might not resonate with everyone, the sheer fun of the gameplay is undeniable. If you love games that are flashy, fun, and unapologetically wild, Bayonetta 3 is a must-play. Remnant 2 takes the best elements of third-person shooting and combines them with Souls-like mechanics to create an experience that's as challenging as it is rewarding. Set in a procedurally generated world, you'll face a variety of enemies, from monstrous creatures to massive bosses, each requiring a mix of strategy and skill to defeat. The combat is tactical and satisfying, allowing you to switch between ranged and melee attacks while utilizing unique abilities tied to your class. Co-op play is where the game truly shines, letting you team up with friends to tackle its toughest challenges. Deep customization options, replayability, and intense combat make Remnant 2 a Souls-like third-person shooter with good combat and extremely well-crafted gameplay. The game has a system that randomizes maps, events, and more, offering an action experience that's hard to put down. If you want some advice, I recommend playing with friends, which makes the experience even more fun. Monster Hunter World immerses players in a world where every hunt is a heart-pounding adventure. As a skilled hunter, you're tasked with tracking and taking down colossal, fearsome creatures that roam lush, vibrant ecosystems. The game's combat system rewards strategic thinking and precise execution. Before engaging a monster, careful observation is key. Studying its behavior patterns, weaknesses, and preferred hunting grounds is essential to crafting a successful strategy. Once the hunt begins, hunters must employ a diverse arsenal of weapons, each with its own unique playstyle. From the swift and agile dual blades to the devastating power of the greatsword, the choice of weapon can drastically alter the course of battle. The monsters themselves are intelligent and adaptive adversaries. They react dynamically to hunters' tactics, changing their behavior and employing a range of attacks to keep players on their toes, whether facing a solo challenge or teaming up with friends. Black Myth Wukong is an action RPG experience that promises to transport players to a mystical world inspired by Chinese mythology. Taking on the role of the legendary Monkey King, players wield a magical staff and utilize a variety of transformative abilities to face mythical creatures and powerful enemies. The combat system is the highlight of the game, offering a fluid and visceral experience. Every strike, dodge, and special ability is executed with precision and impact, providing a sense of power and mastery over the battles. It is enough to demand your attention and keep you entertained for a long time. The variety of enemies and the need to adapt tactics in each encounter ensure that the action never becomes repetitive. Beyond the combat, Black Myth Wukong boasts a rich and detailed world filled with stunning landscapes and intricate architecture. The game's art style is a beautiful blend of traditional Chinese art and modern game design, creating a visually striking and immersive experience. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more gaming content. And let's go to game number 1. Nioh 2 is the pinnacle of action RPG combat, offering a deep, rewarding experience for those who crave a challenge. Set in a dark, fantastical version of Japan, you play as a half-yokai warrior, blending human skill with supernatural powers to take on deadly demons and human enemies alike. The game's combat is incredibly nuanced, with a variety of weapons, stances, and abilities that allow for endless customization. Every encounter in Nioh 2 is a test of skill and adaptability. From intense duels with human warriors to epic battles against towering yokai, each fight presents a unique set of challenges. Players must master the game's intricate combat mechanics, learn to read enemy patterns, and exploit their weaknesses to emerge victorious. And there you have it, 15 combat-focused games that'll keep you hooked from start to finish. Which one of these games are you excited to try? Let us know in the comments below. Check out the next video on screen now for even more must-play games.